Would I be the asshole if I break up with my boyfriend when this year marks the 10th anniversary of the death of his wife? There's too much to say, but I'll try to make it short. I'm using the Google traductor for most of the things, sorry. In short, I, 34F, have been dating Leon, 42M, for 2 years. My uncle became friends with Leon when they started working together, and he started coming to family gatherings and birthdays. Leon is a great guy, and we get along instantly. My family always talk to me about Leon, saying he's a great guy. One day Leon asked me out on a date, and I said yes. We started dating. Leon has 2 children, 14M and 12M. His wife died in an accident 9 years ago. Here comes the problem. Leon always talks about his wife. I know it sounds ugly to complain about it, but I don't say it with jealously. I mean it uncomfortably. He mentions her in intimate moments of our time, such as when we finish having intimacy or when we're having a date. Sometimes he just starts telling me random anecdotes about his wife, and I just stay there feeling like if I'm sleeping with a married man and I'm the side piece. I don't ask for much, just to have a date where it's just me and him, a date where I don't feel like someone's lover with a man who talks about the things we like. He goes to the psychologist, so according to him he's working better on his grief, but I doubt it very much. I'm not the first girlfriend he had after his wife passed away. He still has contact with his wife's family, which is obvious. They are the grandparents of his children, and I have met them in person only one time because all they did was tell me how much Leon and his wife loved each other and treat me really bad. I remember that they put a video with photos of Leon and his wife when they married while I was like this because they didn't even give me a chair to sit. I think in their minds it's cute to me to see my boyfriend with his wife. It's not cute, it's weird. He always says in front of me that she was the love of his life. I find it cute, but when I think about the future I'm just like, I really want to get old with a man who is making it clear that he will never love me. Is that the kind of love I want? I want to be the only one for my future husband. One time I took him to my favorite place, and he just said, "It's beautiful. I wish wife's name was here so we could show her this. You two would have been good friends." It's like being a third wheel in my own relationship. I can tell a lot of situations like these, a lot. We talked about this. Most of the times he just says that he does that without thinking, but then he seems to forget about it and goes back to his usual behavior, and I'm tired. The only one time I talked about this with my family, I was only told that a real woman wouldn't be jealous of a dead woman. I'm not jealous, I'm uncomfortable, and would be happy to be with a man who has loved another woman like that and expect him to love me almost the same. That I shouldn't expect him to love me in the same way since all love is different, and that I should just be empathetic and supportive of him. I listened to them, but nothing got better. I've been feeling so much pressure to go through with this that I can't take it anymore. Anyways, I stopped listening to my family and finally talked with my friend who's a psychologist and told me that his behavior is not healthy for anyone and that I should think for myself. She texted, "Good for him for loving his wife so much, but you don't deserve to be used as an emotional support doll," and she's right. I have decided to cut off the relationship. This year marks 10 years since the death of his wife. Not only his family, even my family is helping them to host a family reunion in honor of her with the things she likes. I think it's a nice thing to do, but I'm totally ready to end the relationship, but I'm afraid I'm the bad guy in the story. The 10th anniversary is in July. I want to end the relationship now, but I fear that I will be a POS if I do that in this year when he is so vulnerable and even my family is pushing me to act like if I was his wife's best friend. He even says that his wife and I would be good friends if we had meet. Why would you want your wife to be best friends with a woman you're sleeping with right now? It's too weird. I think I'm insane because everyone around me sees it as something cute. In short, I don't know if I should break up with him right now or wait until I don't know next year. Would I be a POS if I break up with him now? Update. I had to edit some personal data I wrote without realizing. A few people who live the same situation messaged me, and that really helped me to feel understood. I finally talked with all my friends about everything he did. I always avoided doing that because I knew they were going to tell me that I should leave him, but I just ended up being trapped by everyone else's words. We didn't love each other, and that's obvious even if he says doesn't think so. Yes, I actually posted to get approval. I don't know how bad is that, but I needed to know that I was doing things right and that I'm not crazy before I said the truth to my friends. The next day I finally talked to Leon. I really needed to break up at that point. He came to see me at my house, and I told him we needed to talk. I went straight to the point saying I want to end the relationship, and he instantly asked me what he did wrong. We literally had this talk before, and he does know what things makes me feel uncomfortable. I was tired, so I just proceeded to list everything he did. How he never defended me from his exes-in-law, how he never made an effort to stop naming his wife all the time even though I told him 1,000 times that it made me uncomfortable. How does he make me feel like I'm the third in my own relationship, etc. He apologized saying the same as always, that he doesn't realize it when he does that. We've had this discussion before many times, but this time I told him I want to break up. I also told him that I don't think his therapist is helping, but Leon just said that he is helping him and feels mentally well. Leon told me that we could start going together with his therapist because he knows that it can be hard for a woman to be with a widower. Jealousy is a normal thing in this kind of cases, and that really triggered me. I've let both his and my family make me believe that I'm a crazy jealous. I've let even blogs about widower couples fill my head with things like, you just have to be empathetic, don't expect him to love you. He's always going to love his first wife more, so just get used to it and be a good woman. I've let myself be trampled on just because everyone told me that getting over a loss is difficult, and I have to be empathetic and think about the other. I'm so damn tired of it. I'm tired of being empathetic. I've been dragging this thought for months, and in that moment I just burst out. We yelled at each other. We said a lot of things to each other, but at the end of it all he went on with his mentality that I'm wrong and I'm just jealous. He said that I clearly don't feel ready to date a widower and I ended up being like his ex. I told him that he's a fucking hypocrite, that he filled his mouth talking shits about his ex-girlfriend, but now unsure that he treated her like he treated me. He probably took a submissive woman to fulfill the void and took us as sex dolls. None of that echoed in his mind because he left my house saying I'm just jealous of a ghost and I disappointed him. I'm fed up. I'm so angry while I write this. As soon as he left the house, I sended my mother a message saying that I'm not going to live the same life of my SIL, living in the shadow of a woman who's no longer in this world, and they should have empathy for me and not for a man who's not even their family. I told her that I'm tired of being pressured and I don't care if I die single. I'm sure they don't care about how I feel. In the end, they will keep saying that I have a cold heart like always, but I want to not care about that anymore. My friends are staying at my house to keep me company, and I can finally get all the accumulated shit out of my brain with them. I don't feel good being second, and I know I'll always be second. I don't want to replace the place of the first wife, and I know that even if I wanted to, I never will. I know a lot of people feels good with that kind of relationship, but not me. Maybe I'm really cold-earthed, but I'm surely not that empathetic. If his wife were alive, he would clearly never choose me. He wouldn't even look at me. I don't like that kind of love, and I really had a hard time accepting that I don't want that kind of love for myself. I feel that I am still young, and I can wait for a man to have me as the first choice in his heart. I hope Leon can overcome his traumas and be happy, but not with me. Someone messaged me that I don't deserve his love, but what love are we talking about? I'm just a sex doll at this point. For now, he's not going to change and doesn't want to change, but that's not my business. I'm not a bedroom therapist anymore. I'd rather be single forever than falling again in that. I want to start more therapy and Pilates. I'm still obviously affected by all of this, and nothing really changed. Nothing would change that fast, and I'm just happy that I'm free now. For now, I just wanted to vent. So sorry if everything sounds too aggressive.
Am I the asshole for accidentally raising my voice at my wife and throwing away her dishes and clothes because she won't wash them, just buy new ones? I, 28M, have been married to my wife at 30 for 2 years now, together for 5. We were going to start trying for a baby, but that got put on hold and might not happen anymore. My wife and I both work, and we make about the same amount and work about the same amount of hours. My wife and I originally had a chore system set up where we just rock, paper, scissors at the calendar for our days off. We got a pretty fair cut, I want to say, but she did get more dishes days. I got more, if not all, the laundry. My wife hates washing dishes. She hates it with such a passion that she sometimes just shuts down and cries when she sees them in the sink. Before, when I caught her crying, I immediately went to help her, switch chores for the day, calm her down, and then it was fine. But because I was doing this, I noticed that she was crying on purpose, so I washed the dishes. I knew she was faking it because the second I took over, her tears stopped, and she'd go do something fun that she liked without a care in a world, laughing and smiling. No wind down like before. Because of this, we changed our dishes to whoever makes the dish washes it, like children with the exception of cooking. Whoever cooks doesn't have to wash the pots and pans because they put all the work in for dinner. This was also her suggestion, which I was more than okay with. This was working out for a little while until I noticed that my wife made a lot more dishes than me and just didn't want to wash them. I asked her when she planned on washing dishes after I made dinner at her request, and she blew up on me, telling me to quite literally fuck off. I did as she said but left the dishes. The next day she asked me why the dishes weren't done, and I told her because she didn't do them. This started a fight and I washed them, but I was unhappy. I do most if not all of the laundry because she just won't anymore, and I refuse to wear dirty clothes. The only thing she has to do with the laundry is put it in the basket. That's it. We have a basket for darks, colors, and whites. She insists on her own basket for underwear and whatnot, so that's its own thing, and I hand wash it. She's been not putting her clothes in the basket. At first I picked up all of her clothes and washed them because it was no big deal, but when I watched her take her clothes off and just leave them on the floor because I always pick it up, I chose to leave her clothes there. She asked me why her clothes weren't done. I said because she didn't put them away, and she blew up on me. Same story. Recently this all came to a head with all the fighting. My wife has been getting lazier and lazier to push back because of our fights, and at first I was doing all of her chores on top of working, but I had a little moment of why am I even doing this, and just stopped. The dishes piled, her clothes were dirty, crumbs were everywhere on her days. On my days everything was spick and span. She decided that she's going to just start buying more dishes and clothes to combat not doing her part. I cannot tell you how frustrated this made me. She was buying plastic spoons and forks, paper plates, Walmart t-shirts, and whatever other cheap alternative to the nice ones she has at home. I just decided to start tossing them. When she noticed that I was tossing her cheap alternatives, she blew up at me again, and for the first time since we've been together, I raised my voice. My voice is deep and I'm a big man, so this scared her, which I regretted. I immediately lowered my tone and told her that she just isn't doing her part and that she's wasting money buying useless things when all she has to do is just clean up after herself and put clothes in a basket. She cried, and despite how many times I apologized, she told me that she doesn't feel safe with me and that maybe we're better off divorcing. This shattered me. She's been cold with me, sleeping on the couch and playing domestic violence signs videos out loud. It's such a low blow. The videos usually talk about yelling, throwing away items, control, emotional abuse, and signs that they're going to get physical. I don't think I'm wrong for what I did, but this is really wearing me down, and I've been getting some texts here and there from our families calling me an asshole and abuser for throwing away her things and yelling at her and that she needs to divorce force me. The yelling was an accident. No one has wanted to hear what fully happened, and it's making me feel alone and a bit crazy. My friends are either staying out of it or are on her side if they're women. I've been losing friends. I feel like the asshole now. Am I the asshole? All I wanted was for her to clean up after herself. I'd never hurt her, and I've never yelled at her before, which I do regret. I didn't mean to scare her. I was just beyond frustrated because this has been building for months. I get that it was probably immature to throw away the disposables and that I should have just cleaned up after her, but I was just frustrated. TLDR. Wife started buying disposable dishes and cheap Walmart clothes after she stopped doing chores and I didn't pick up after her. She found out, we fought. She's been cold and playing DV sign videos out loud. I feel like the asshole now, but a tiny part of me still feels like I'm not.